Hello, everyone, and thank you guys so much for joining me as we talk about families who may have joined us for a summer enrollment and how we can help you finish before your next school year starts. So, when we talk about this, we really want to talk about setting students up for success. Many students look to take a course over a summer to get prerequisites out of the way or to catch up on something that they missed. Making sure to set up a foundation to help them achieve that goal is important. And we're going to talk about that today, and we're really going to break it up into four pieces. The first is goal setting, and then we're going to talk about making a plan. And then we're going to talk about following through on that plan, and then finally, we'll discuss how you send records after you have completed these courses. So, the first step in this process is goal setting. Now, this can look different depending on where you're coming to us from. Many students come to us over the summer as an individual student that's attending just over the summer from their traditional school. For these students, we really like to emphasize that individual schools may have different requirements and expectations in regards to transferring grades back to their local districts. Some districts are very strict that they want the grades in before courses begin. Others may have a deadline before a certain time in the year. So making sure to reach out to your school to find out what their expectation is. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you're earning your credit and receiving that credit with us and being able to take it back to your school. And so making sure to follow any requirements that they might have so that you end up not having to take a class twice or end up missing the deadline and then aren't able to submit it to the school. Um, and so we often recommend, when you're first starting out your course, to reach out to the school and say, hi, this summer I'm taking Algebra 2 so that next year I can enroll in pre calculus. My plan is to take it over the summer with the Keystone School, and we want to transfer it back. When do you need those records by? And schools are really good about getting back to you on what those specific due dates are. And we'll talk about why that's important in a little bit. And then for families who are with us, we know that some of our families do like to take a traditional break, um, even though we do have open enrollment, but maybe they want to do one class. Again, maybe there's a class that a student struggles with. So instead of starting a full course load over the summer, your goal is to just get a head start on, English. Maybe writing takes you a while. And so, you want to take the time to make sure that you get that understanding and can just focus on that one course. Or maybe you are looking to complete an extra course over the summer in the same way that those students who are coming to us from a different school are. Again, making sure that you just have that concrete date. Whether the goal is, I just want to finish this course by the end of the year, or, I do want to finish before we enroll in my next set of courses on September 1st. Whatever your deadline is, you want to make sure that you have that concrete and in your mind when making your plan. And this way, you can stay on track for your educational journey in the same way a student would at any other school. And so, with that, with all of those thoughts in mind, the next thing to think about is how we make this plan. So, just like I had said in the previous slide here, the first step is to decide on the number of weeks you'll be working in this course. And again, it can vary. For some students, they're looking to take, 8 weeks over the summer to complete their course. Some students are looking to do it on a more accelerated path. They're looking at 6 weeks. Other students, in the case that I mentioned where you're staying with us, you may be looking at a full year. So you may be looking at 50 weeks. But making sure whatever that goal is, you have it firmly in mind and have that number of weeks with you is super important when making this initial schedule. Uh, After you've decided on that number of weeks, the next step that you need to do is to locate the total number of assignments remaining in your course by going to the assessment pacer in the student app or in the support app. You can find it in either place. And what this does is it'll tell you just how many assignments you need to complete in order to finish your course. So if a course has, 90 assignments total, and you're looking to complete it over the 8-week span of the summer, what we then do is step number 3, which is divide the number of assignments by the number of weeks. So again, if we're looking at a 90 assignment course over 8 weeks, we divide 90 by 8, and we get that a student will want to do about 11 and a quarter assignments a week. So, you'll want to do about 12 assignments total. So, again, if you're working over the summer, this is likely your only course. So, you'll want to do, if you're working Monday through Friday, between 2 to 3 assignments a day. And what this will do is it'll guarantee that you will finish then by that goal date. And in the same way, you can adjust that number of weeks depending on your goal. And so doing this, it gives you a very clear picture of what you need to do each day and over the course of each week. One of the nice parts about Keystone is that we're entirely flexible. So if you can only work 3 days a week, that's totally fine. If you have a sports practice that comes up and starts in the summer. I know that I had field hockey practice that started, the first day of August. So maybe you can only work 3 days a week because the other 2 days you're in a sports camp, you're in a summer camp, whatever the case may be, you can adjust that schedule. If you're only working 3 days a week, you need to do about 4 assignments a day. And that really gives you an idea of what you need to do in order to complete over this short period of time. And this goes right into the next part of this, which is the follow through. Um, Once your student has this plan in place, once you both have talked about it, you've agreed, you think that it's a manageable experience for them, the next step is to follow through, which can be super difficult. I absolutely know. The summer slump is very real. I know that many families are definitely feeling it. So making sure that your student, has these goals in mind, that they are aware of what needs to be done, if they're working 3 days a week, they know that they need to do those 4 assignments on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in order to be able to enjoy their camp over the long weekend. And so, making sure that they have that thought in mind and already in place is super important. One of the things that we talk about a lot, regardless of when you're enrolling or how you're enrolling, is as a parent, uh, as an accountability partner, you want to be there for your student, especially when doing something like this. Um, because you guys are on such a tight time schedule here, you really want to make sure that, you are helping hold them accountable. I talk to families all the time where it's like, if you need to check in on them every day, that's okay. You would do that at a traditional school. I like to tell, especially with the younger grades, it's like a book bag check where you might go through a book bag at the end of the day and make sure that there's no papers to sign, there's no surprise bake sales coming up, there's no, field trip uh, sheets that you need to sign. None of that is in there. And in the same way, it's just instead of checking for a bake sheet, you're making sure that, if a student needs to do those 4 assignments a day, that those 4 assignments are done. And in the same way, provide that motivation. Did they do it? I know a lot of families right now that do like, oh, you finished all of your assignments. Let's go out for ice cream. Oh, you did everything. Let's go out and do something that you enjoy, or let's go play a game together. Whatever the case is, being able to provide that external motivation to them is super important, and making sure you spend that time and have that acknowledgement with them. Again, this is a big thing to undertake over the course of the summer, and making sure that you have the time and the thought in it for both of you is really, really, really important. And then if you guys need a little outside motivation, you can absolutely schedule to speak with a student success advisor, myself or anyone else on our team. We have students who talk to us really regularly. A student may come to us and say, my goal is to do 15 assignments a week. And so we're able to check in and be like, hey, you did great. I see you did 17 assignments this week. Or if you reach out and we have a conversation, and it may be, hey, I see you only did 10 assignments this week. Is everything okay? Um, and so again, we're there as that second line of support. You're there as the support person to be able to have that first like initial line of encouragement. You're there to be able to have that check-in every day. And then we're there as you need us. And you can absolutely do that. And just making sure that you have that there and you have that knowledge and understanding is super important. And then the last thing to talk about here is how to send records after the course is completed. So once you've completed your course, you'll need to have those official records sent back to your school if you're coming to us just as like an additional summer course. You can do this through the support application. We use a tool called Parchment at Keystone. You can find it when you log in through the support application. And all you'll do is you'll fill out the information about your student, your student's information. And the school that you want us to send it to, and we'll be able to process it then for you. It is important to note that you do want to double check before submitting through Parchment that the course is done. And you can do that in the support app itself. Just make sure that it shows as complete and not currently pending or active. For students who are staying with us, you can absolutely also request records. You can do an unofficial transcript if it's something that you want to see the total number of of lessons that you've done. You can always print out your assessment pacer if you want something tangible that way as well. That way you have those records for yourself. I will open up the Q&A here in just a moment, but before I do, I want to finish up the recording. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to contact us. The number for us is 1-844-494-3577. And from there, you'll be able to follow the phone tree to the Student Success Advisors. We're also available via email at studentsuccess@keystonehighschool.com. And additionally, please feel free to check out our blog, which I'll put in the chat as well, which is just thekeystoneschool.wordpress.com. A lot of what I talked about today can be found in article resources there. So it's a really great place to go, especially if you're stuck and you're not sure what to do next. It's a great place to go to check out and get more information. So again, please feel free to stick around if you have more questions. But I do want to thank you so much for your time today. You guys were so awesome. And I look forward to talking with you guys in the future. I am going to shut off the recording here and I'll take any questions that you guys may have. But I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.